Everyone talks about support and resistance, but the banks don't trade support and resistance. They trade supply and demand. In these videos, I will be showing you exactly how to find and trade those zones. Supply and demand are areas where big traders, banks, and institutions place their trades or orders. Supply are areas where sellers are waiting. Demand are areas where buyers are waiting. A strong demand forms after a big push up, while a strong supply forms after a big push down. That is an evidence of strong market, of sell or price. So the things you should be looking for is you should look for a strong move, an area where it has not been um retested, and also a big candle move to the upside or to the downside. And you wait for your price to retest that place and make sure you see a confirmation. Alright, always wait for a confirmation because sometimes the market tends to liquidate or move all the stop loss below and start going your way. So these are reasons why you need to have a confirmation before entering a trade. Okay, don't just jump in because if that's what you are doing, that is pure gambling. That's not trading. So, and when you are marking these zones, you make sure you are marking this zone on the higher time frame, like the 4 hours or the daily, even the 1 hour. Then you scale down to the smaller time frame, the 15 minutes or the 5 minutes for your entries. Okay, and you make sure you place your stop loss below or above this zone. So if you are selling from the supply zone, you make sure you place your stop loss above the previous zone. And if you are buying, you make sure you place your stop loss below the previous zone. Okay, it is very simple and powerful and clean as well. Okay, if you master supply and demand, you see that the way you trade to change, and you stop chasing trades and you master the market like the banks. That's if you are patient enough. I know this might still take time for you to, adapt to, but trust me, if you are trading with this strategy, 80% of the time you actually get your trade right. If you take at least 10 trades or even 5 trades, you probably get 4 trades correct or 3 trades correct. If you take 10 trades, you probably get 8 correct, 8 to 7 correct. Alright. So now we'll just do a little practical before we go back to our, you know. So on the higher time frame, this is where a supply zone and a demand zone is down below here. Supply zone, the point where you are selling from. Always remember the point where you are selling from is your supply zone. Okay. So just the same way you have the supply and demand, this is our rectangle, right? This point, the up point is called the delta line. The delta line here, right here, is a delta line. Okay, up here we call it the delta, while down here is the proximal. Okay, that's on the supply. Up here is this delta line, below is proximal. While on the supply, on the demand zone area, here is our proximal, and below the line here, the end line of the rectangle is our delta line. Okay, right? On the demand zone, our delta line is below, while our proxima is above. And on the supply zone, on the rectangle side, on the rectangle two, here is our distal line above and our proxima is below. Take note of this. You just need to know all this, right? So now we have what we call higher highs and higher lows. But before that, as you can see that this market creates a high. You can see all the demand zones that was created. I will be marking them. You can see, you see, this is the demand, right? What happens is the market always comes back to retest. You get my point? You want to see a big move to the upside. This is just an example, right? A big move to the upside, and whenever it goes to touch your supply zone, most of the time it usually reverse back to fuel that impulsive move that it has created, that big move that it has created. You see, after this move was created, another move went up, it came back to retest. You see, you retest, went back up, right? Created another higher high, came back again. You understand? Moved up, came back. What I want you to take note of is you can see when he created this impulsive move, this strong candle buy, big candle buy, the market came back to feel where it broke out from. If you see, these are the, these are the places, the wicks that was created here. When this broke out from it, that's when you can now call it either that break of structure that people call it, right? But that's not what we are doing today. Let's just focus on this. So you see that the market closed, went up, and it came back down to retest it. So now what we are going to do, we've marked this zone now. We are going to go on the lower time frame to see how it really went down. Thing is, the chart on the 4 hours, it's more and more visible than that of the 30 minutes or the 1 hour. So what we have to do now, we have to draw it down. You see, we have more candles now compared to the 4 hours. So what we have to do now is we have to look for where um, these candles were marked. But if you can't find it, okay, right here, right here. So you see on the lower time frame. This is why I said you should be patient. So in a case where you see something like this, that's why they say you should be patient, right? Patience is the key. You see, if we've marked our supply zone, our expectation is when the market gets to our supply zone, it should start selling, right? But you need to wait for a confirmation. You don't just start selling because it's at a supply zone or because it is at a demand zone, right? You have to be patient. Okay. The reason why I said you need your confirmation, if you look clearly, you will see that right here. where I just zoom in, you see so many candles, right? There are so many strong candles. They have less wick. How you know strong candles are candles that have big body and less small width. All right.
continue.
So what you are going to do is you want to zoom in here. You see that this from this point where we marked our demand zone, we have lots of candles here and they are very strong candles. Let me zoom in for you guys to see, right? You see they are strong candles because why are they strong candles? Because they have bigger body than the wicks. You see, they have tiny wicks but bigger body. And the reason why you are seeing this rectangle this big is because we actually marked it on the higher time frame, right? Whatever you see on the higher time frame, when you come, it's more, it's less. Then when you move to the smaller time frame, it tends to be more. You get my point? Okay. So now you see we have more candles, strong candles to the upside. And these candles now they have nothing to, you know, actually fill them. The market will definitely come back to fill all these places because see, these are spaces. These are spaces, right? Now let's go back to the main chart. So now we've marked our supply zone. Our supply zone is there. We actually just waited for the market to drive all through from here. You see, meanwhile, while it was going, it was creating a higher high, lower high, lower low, higher high, lower high, higher high, and lower highs. All right, but you just have to be patient while trading this strategy. Okay, so now eventually it got to our supply zone, right? So what are we going to do? Let's say immediately it got here. You see this candle is a very strong candle, right? You don't want to rush in because you are seeing all the volatility in the market. Maybe at that point or that day, the volatility in the market is much. So you don't want to rush in. You want to wait for your confirmation. So how do you wait for a confirmation? Now that you are in that the market is in your zone, you want to wait for weak reaction. When I mean weak reaction, you want to see the volatility of the market weakens. The market doesn't go like the way it was going before, like it just starts reacting. It finds it difficult to break that zone. Alright. Find it difficult to break that zone. As you can see, okay, my battery is low, it's almost over. So as you can see, you see that when the market got to our supply zone, start creating candles with small body but long wicks, right? Another one, the market just, let me just say, consolidating around that zone. And now what you are going to do is you want to wait for the consolidation to be broken. Is either it takes it to the what's it called, to the upside as a manipulation or to the downside. Now we had a move to the downside. You see, it broke this zone with this strong candle. Now you don't want to jump in, you want to be patient. All you have to do is wait for a retest of this impulsive move. Remember, I told you that for a supply zone, you want to see a strong supply, you want to see a strong candle movement to the downside, right? Now, this candle has been created, a strong candle. Now, what you are going to do, you have to wait for the candle to be retested again. So now here comes the retest. Here comes the retest. You see, this is how you find your confirmation, right? Here comes the retest. You are going to mark it from where it broke out from. and this is the candle that broke it. This is the long candle, massive pull to the downside. Then the market retraced back to that zone. It's not like if you enter this trade from here, right? When you saw the move, you be in stop loss or you'd have hit stop loss, but you'll be risking less, right? Instead of you to be panicking when the market actually go back to this place, you don't have to panic. Wait for it, because there is a move, a strong move here, and the market will definitely come back to retest it. But if it doesn't immediately, what you do is you look for another sell position. This is also a position to take a sell. You understand? But here is a perfect time also. Okay. So for this, I hope I have done enough for you guys, and you will be able to understand this part of the class. On the next video, still be explaining more and breaking things down for you guys to understand. But for now, we'll just stop here and continue on the next video. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video. Bye.